Hello, hi year 10. Today we're going to do something a little bit unusual, which is a little bit of an introduction to the lesson for tomorrow. I hope you're not getting this too late. Okay, so I'm going to read through a bunch of stuff that I've written down for you, and hopefully it'll make sense what I want to say. So what's happening? Well, tomorrow we're going to learn something which I think is really important, and something that you've been using. We're going to learn about something that you've been using all your life really, but perhaps you haven't paid that much attention to, and it's important to know what it's about. We're going to learn about currents of electric charge flowing through wires. Might not sound very exciting, but trust me, it is. And in a way it's similar to the way of flowing of water through rivers as you learn in geography, but in a way it's also more mysterious and obscure. There's certain things that if you think about electricity as water, you can't really explain it. It doesn't help that much. So it's got some parts of water and it's flow like that, and then it's got other things which are a lot harder to explain. We're gonna learn how man, and this is the Homo sapiens, that kind of man, not just men, has learned to give energy to these tiny charged particles, the electrons, and other sorts of charge also, but mainly the electrons, and then being able to use the physical laws that he's discovered and the inventions that they've come up with in order to make these particles carry the energy to where men need it. Up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, you can get electricity and you can run a computer or all sorts of stuff. There's electricity in satellites going around the earth. We've carried energy to such remote places, and not only that, it's also an energy that we can deliver at the right time whenever we want it to be there, not just randomly, and in the right amount. The right amount that we need it in. We've learned to do all of this thanks to a few of the ideas that we're going to talk about tomorrow and in the next few lessons. So hopefully all of this will help you to be able to digest the ideas tomorrow better. The last lesson we talked about static charge, which is stationary charge. It builds up in a place and it doesn't move very much. It's kind of around the same place. And we talked about some uses like the electrostatic paint spraying, bicycle frames, and the inkjet printer, and the photocopiers, and the electrostatic precipitators, and the chimneys to take away pollution and that kind of stuff. And we also talked about a few problems with static charge, like cars and lorries and planes charging up with electricity, and then this causing sparks and explosions. And this means that while the explosions can happen while you're refueling, when you're trying to put petrol again, there's fumes going around, and that can be dangerous. So that was all quite interesting, but there's so much more that you can do and understand with moving charge compared with static charge. And so it's important to understand static charge, and you can get questions about it, and it's important to know what's going on there. But really the challenge and the more interesting things start now with the moving charge. So let me just find the next part. So why did I make this video? Well, when I was taught about electricity at school, it was done in a really boring way, and I always thought and wondered to myself how the hell it was possible to make such an interesting and important topic so boring. And I would like to avoid the same thing happening to you, because it made electricity really hard for me to study. I just did not think it was useful or in any way meaningful to my life. I couldn't really see the thing happening. It was just a bunch of cables, and hopefully we'll see some real life effects of it, and how it's really relevant to our life, and how there's a lot of ideas in it that can help us to understand other bits of physics and just general things about life really. There's a lot of concepts inside of electricity that are, and as a broad topic, that are really important and useful. So here there's a note that says I should go to the top. So let me go to the top. There's some stuff there in red. So what does this say in red? It says yeah, there's a few ideas that I would like you to have fresh in your mind tomorrow, and you need to think about before the lesson, and so that you arrive with them sort of fumbling around in your head. One of them is the rate of flow. I want you to think about the rate of flow of something, and what really does it mean for something to flow, and for the rate of it. What is the meaning of the rate of something flowing? Okay. The second one is the idea of potential energy. To think about it a little bit tonight. You know, this potential energy is stored up energy. It's energy that you can use later, or that you can use just now, but it's been stored up in the past. It's very, very useful to be able to store up potential energy, and to know how to govern and create it and manipulate it, increase it, change it, move it around, and change its nature and make it work for us and things like that. That's what we do with electricity a lot of the time, really. So those two ideas are really important. The third one is the symbols. Okay, what is a symbol? The way you understand the word symbol, and what kinds of symbols you've seen as a student, and just as a person walking around the planet, what symbols are used for, why are they handy, why are they useful, that kind of thing. Okay, so those three things I'd like you to think about a little bit. I don't want you to write anything about them specific, just to think about them. And the more hands-on sort of activity or little task that I wanted to give you was this one. Tonight I would like to think about, you know, what life was like for someone of your age before there was any electricity. Okay, and try to come up with three, you know, 2 or 3 things that would have been very different, okay, in your life if this was the case, and come up with those, and bring them written down for the lesson tomorrow. Really try to think and put yourself in the mind of a person that was living in that time, and what that would have been like. You know, think about the things that you used that you couldn't have used, and especially about just the day-to-day living, and the things that the way you move around, what you do that you could not have done, also the information that you have access to. Okay, that's a really big thing that we take for granted, this thing called information. We now have amazing access to it. Right, so hopefully all of that is a good sort of intro to what's going to happen tomorrow in the lesson, and please be there early so we can get a head start and talk about some cool stuff. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow.